What's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the NPA. It is so awesome to be saying that again. I haven't recorded in like a week and a half because of the charity drive I did last week. If you missed last week's battle, it was over up on Gypsy King's channel. I also uploaded his commentary on my channel, just in case you guys aren't subbed to him and like for some reason you didn't want to. Like, you'd still be able to see the game. So if you want to see that, that game is up. It is on my channel. You are more than welcome to go watch that. I'll leave a link to it down below. I'll also still leave Gypsy's links down below as well, because he helped me out big time last week, filling in whenever I had a really big charity drive to go to. But this week, it is, what week number is it? That's a good question. I think it's week 6. I think it might be week 5. I could be wrong. It is week 6, and we are going up against someone that I consider a rival, someone that I consider my rival. He might not consider me one of his rivals, but we are going up against John, aka Pokemon, and the New Orleans Pelipers. And this is huge. If you do not know anything about my channel, if you did not watch the P4G last season, I had to play John twice. I played him the very first game of the season, and I played him in the finals, and I beat him both times. Just because of that alone, I consider him a rival, because he is a fantastic battler and a fantastic content creator, so I fully expect him to try to come back and like destroy me this time, and it's fully possible with the team matchup. But real quick, why don't we just go over his team before I start talking about my team. He has, let me get to his tab, there we go. He has Victini, Reuniclus, Decidueye, Escavalier, Passimian, Sandslash, Tapu Fini, Raikou, Tyrantrum, Noivern, and Qwilfish. Now, right off the bat, I can pretty much guarantee 5 mons that are coming. Victini, Reuniclus, Tapu Fini, and Raikou. They're all definitely coming, and that's 4. And then the last one, I would the last 2, it's a toss-up between Tyrantrum or Noivern and Decidueye. The rest of them I don't really think have a good matchup. Like Passimian can be set up on by Zardex. Sandslash can also be set up on by Zardex, especially if I'm like a Will-O-Wisp variant. It also gets pressured hardcore by my Jellicent. It can't really touch it even with knockoff. And then Qwilfish, it can do pretty well. However, because I do like running things like Fast Taunt Jellicent, I like running my Nidoqueen. Toxic Spikes aren't a huge deal to my team, and neither are Spikes. And because he has Sandslash as his only Rapid Spinner, which I don't think will be coming at all, I don't think he'll be able to Hazard Stack me. So Victini, Reuniclus, Decidueye, Tapu Fini, Raikou, and then Tyrantrum and or Noivern. And that's pretty much how I went in building this team, because those things are massive threats to my team that even if I prepped for all of them and didn't even prep for Passimian or things like that, I can still get blown back by them. Like it's insane. His team matchup is really, really good this week. But let's just go ahead and talk about the team that I will be bringing. And let's go ahead and start off with this Zardex set. This is a bulky 3-attack set. Clearly, Dragon Dance Zardex has been letting me down. Like, it has a chance to sweep every single week, but it either A, gets paralyzed and gets hacked or something. I don't speed creep it correctly to my opponent's team, which is completely on my fault. There's a couple other instances where, like against Cress, it could have swept her, but it just didn't. So in practice, Dragon Dance Zardex hasn't been the most effective for me, even when I try to make it the best set possible. And that's pretty unique considering the fact that I think the best set possible this week is actually just a straight up bulky wall breaker. This has enough physical attack investment. I'm pretty sure, hold up, for some reason I feel like that's the wrong EV spread. I feel like that's the wrong EV spread versus Tapu Fini. That's the main thing that I like. His best answer to Zardex is Tapu Fini. Now, okay, that's what it was. So originally I had 84 attack investment in this. And this was earlier on in my team prep whenever I didn't have my Persian, my Reuniclus, or this specific Nidoqueen set. I went through about 5 different teams with this. I had Braviary over Reuniclus at one point in time. I had Heliolisk over Persian at one point in time. I had a really bulky Nidoqueen. I had a really offensive Nidoqueen. I went through a lot of different spreads. I had a Choice Banded Lucario at one point in time. I had a lot of different variations, and this Zardex spread changed every single time on the team. I either had it to be able to 2-hit KO Tapu Fini with Thunder Punch, which I would need 84 attack EVs, or I had this spread. This spread allows me to wall Victini pretty much perfectly. Choice Scarf Special Victini with Psychic or Psyshock cannot 2-hit KO me, so if like I come in on rocks, like if he kills something of mine with a Psychic type move, I can come in on rocks, it does less than 50%, and I can roost stall it up out of whatever I have to. I can end up forcing it out, I can get up to a good amount of health, and then I'll be good to go. This 44 attack investment though, what this does is this allows me to guarantee 2-hit KO bold max defense, max HP Reuniclus with Flare Blitz. And that's really important because Reuniclus 6-0s me. Like, straight up Reuniclus has the potential to completely and utterly 6-0 me. I know John is more fond of the AV Regenerator set. That does not mean that he will not be bringing Calm Mind. I fully expect him to bring Calm Mind. I also fully expect him to bring Calm Mind Raikou. The two combined can 6-0 me. Like, they can both put on enough pressure to where I will lose to both of them. And that's pretty scary. So I wanted to make sure that no matter what, I'll be able to 2-hit KO Reuniclus with my Zardex. I can take a +2 Psychic, I think. If he's Fizz Death, if he's Modest, I can't with max special attack. So if he's like a Trick Room variant, at +2 I can't take it. So I just have to play around it very carefully. And as long as it's down to about 50%, I'll be happy. And I have a couple ways of doing that on my team that I'll show you guys in a minute. Roost is there for reliable recovery. Dragon Claw is there for general stab. It also allows me to hit the Tyrantrum if he wants to switch that in on this for whatever reason, expecting a Flare Blitz on something like the Reuniclus or the, what's it called, the Decidueye. Decidueye can't touch me either. So I can repeatedly like spam moves trying to catch him doing a switch, and I can actually wear down his team pretty well with Zardex, and I can roost stall on pretty, like, I don't want to say stall, I can roost up on pretty much anything. So then let's talk about the second mod on my team that changed probably the most. This is an offensive Nidoqueen. It is a physical offensive Nidoqueen. I've never brought offensive Nidoqueen to this league. I've only brought like a bulky Black Sludge hazard setting one. And originally I did the exact same thing for this team. I had Pyapa Berry so I could guarantee live a Shattered Psyche from Victini. And that was a good bring. I like that bring. But it didn't put enough pressure on things like Raikou. It didn't hit Raikou hard enough. It didn't put enough pressure on things like Reuniclus. It didn't put enough pressure on Tapu Fini. And for those of you wondering, the reason why I ended up changing this, because if his only switch into Flare Blitz will be Tapu Fini, I wanted a Nidoqueen set that can absolutely nuke it, and Poison Jab to max Tapu Fini does 75 to 90%. 2 switch-ins to Stealth Rocks, and it's a guaranteed OHKO. Like, it's like 98% chance. Like, it's super pressured by this thing. The fact that this thing can also do things like Fire Punch the Escavalier, and against the typical Escavalier set, like we'll go just like a max HP one. I'm also relooking at the calcs because I'm about to face him, and I kind of want to remind myself like right now. Against like max HP Escavalier, Fire Punch still does 68% to Escavalier. So if it comes in on like rocks a couple times, takes like a Dragon Claw, it'll be in range of a Fire Punch. Fire Punch to Decidueye does a whole hell of a lot, especially if he's like not speedy. Fire Punch OHKOs him. Poison Jab is 84%. If he's like really fat, like max HP, Fire Punch does 87%. So this puts a lot of pressure on his walls. Reuniclus is another one that this thing hits really hard. Poison Jab does 40 to 48%. That 40 to 48% is going to be so big because if I'm able to get him down to that range, he will be in range of like a high roll on Flare Blitz. If I get like a high roll plus a mid roll, it'll be close. So that's why this is extremely important. Earthquake absolutely decimates Raikou. There was a couple other things that this thing just put a whole lot of pressure on. Sucker Punch for Victini. That was the other calc that I wanted to remind myself of and tell you guys at the same time. Versus Victini. To no HP investment, Victini, Sucker Punch does 52%. He comes in on rocks twice and he dies to Sucker Punch. That is huge. Unless he's Colbur, of course. But overall, this thing absolutely nukes his entire team, and if he thinks that he'll be able to have his wall core stick around through the assault of Zard X plus Nidoqueen this game, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I played around with this team so much that I did about 12 different mocks. I brought this to 3 of them. I won all 3 of them. Whenever I brought a bulky Nidoqueen, I lost all 9 of them. So this thing was definitely the deciding factor on making sure that my team was like perfect, and I think that it was a very, very, very good bring. Well, it will be a very good bring. I haven't played the game yet. So then this is just a standard physically defensive Skarmory. Also, I see a lot of people in the NPA, especially coaches, running 248 in HP. Please don't do that, and please don't run 8 EVs in something. It doesn't. It's just wasting EVs. You really don't need to. It's 244 and 12. I just figured I would say that for you guys, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that. They just think that you lower it just 1 point to 248, lower it down to 244, and then put 12 in something else. You actually gain more EVs out of it. Anyway, Stealth Rock, Roost, Defog, and Iron Head. Iron Head is extremely important because Brave Bird gives me recoil. I do not want recoil. I'm going to be taking Nature's Madnesses from Tapu Fini. I'm going to be taking Head Smashes. Well, I'm not going to be taking Head Smashes from Tyrantrum. I'm going to hopefully be not dying to Head Smashes from Tyrantrum. And being able to hit it with an Iron Head, instantly putting in range of things like my Lucario, things like my Nidoqueen if he's not Scarfed, things like my Dragon if he's not Scarfed. But ultimately, I have to make sure that that Tyrantrum is weakened. I think Tyrantrum is less likely than Noivern, personally, but that's just my opinion. But Stealth Rocks are huge. The second I get up Stealth Rocks, the much better I will be. Like, if I can get up Stealth Rocks turn 1 as he leads with Victini, it'll be so big because he won't be able to taunt me with his Tapu Fini to prevent me from getting up hazards, and that's what I really, really like. But overall, physically defensive Skarmory, it's pretty standard. It helps me take on things like Decidueye. It helps me take on things like if he's like set up Decidueye with Baton Pass, that could be pretty scary because if he like traps us in and then goes for it. But I don't think he can afford that. I think he needs like Roost, maybe Defog on it, Spirit Shackle, Leaf Blade. Like even then, that struggles to hit things on my team. Like that doesn't hit Zard X at all. But yeah. So I definitely think that this is going to be the best defensive pivot this game, and that's weird because Skarmory has done like nothing for me all season, but it is what it is. So then now we have Lucario. This has enough speed to outspeed base 80s, his Passimian. So if you want to run a Choice Scarf Passimian, I have this in the back to nuke it. Even though Passimian is extremely fat on the physical side, I think it has like 100 HP, 100 defense, something like that. Hold up, I want to know the exact thing because it's 190. Like it's 100 HP, 90 defense, 120 attack. Like that thing is pretty thick on the physical side. So this isn't going to be my designated response to it. However, this is the best late game cleaner I have against his team. Things like Earthquake. He has a pretty good ground weakness with his main 2 offensive mons against my team, that being Raikou and Victini. I can outspeed both of them if neither one of them are Scarfed, and I can go ahead and I can click Earthquake and I can kill both of them. If he runs like Specs Noivern, because Specs Noivern actually disintegrates my entire team, I have no switch-ins to it. Especially if he wants to like drop Hurricanes on me, I have nothing to switch into it. Like, nothing. It's pretty upsetting. But if he's Specs Noivern, I have Ice Punch to nuke it. If he is locked into things like Boom Burst or Draco, I can take one, and I can go ahead and I can click Ice Punch if he is Scarfed. And then Close Combat is there for General Stab. That helps me hit the Tyrantrum late game if he is Scarfed. If he's Rock Polish Tyrantrum, I'm a little bit less worried about it because that means he's going to be missing out on coverage for something on my team, and I'll be able to hit it harder. Kind of. I was going to run Vacuum Wave, but it only does like 45% to it, and that's going to be hard for me to get off on it. I need to be able to either OHKO it or lose to it. Like, that's the way my team works. I could, like, that's the main reason why I had a bulky Nidoqueen, is so that way Tyrantrum doesn't 6-0 me, but it is what it is. I really do like this. Poison Jab is for Tapu Fini. It does a metric shitload. I think it does like 46% minimum. So this thing is really, really good against his entire team, and I really like it. But now let's get on to the 2 important mons of the team. And I say that these are important. They're the most low tier, but they are extremely, extremely important to this team. So Fetus is going to be coming back again. This is going to be my Spadef wall. This is going to help me stop Calm Mind Raikou. This is my check to Calm Mind Raikou. That is it. It can set up on me, but with Psy Shocks, it'll be doing a lot. It does about 34%, so he can't set up on me for free. And eventually he will end up having to kill me until I can go into my Lucario and click Earthquake and revenge kill it or force it back out. I have Baton Pass and Moonlight. Baton Pass is there because if I'm in on something like, there was something on his team that I Baton Passed against in one of my mocks. What was it? Can't remember what it was. Might have been Tyrantrum, might have been Noivern, it might have been Raikou, it might have been something. Maybe I expected like a Volt Switch and I click like Baton Pass, or I expect any move and I can live it and I can click Baton Passing into my Zard X and nuke something, or my Nidoqueen and kill something. Like, that's also why Baton Pass is really important. However, you see Healing Wish, that is important because as you can tell from my team, I'm running a very offensive team this week. I'm not running as fat of a team as I normally run. Like, yeah, I'm running Fat Zard, but it's still really offensive, and that's the point of it. I'm running very offensive Nidoqueen and Lucario, and spoiler alert, my Persian in the back is also offensive. So, if one of them gets weakened, and I notice that late game it's my win con, I want to click Healing Wish, and I want to get it back up to full health. I don't want to risk not having my full health threat in the back. So, Healing Wish is going to be very important. But something else that this does that is extremely important is that it's set up fodder for Reuniclus. Why is that important, you might ask? Well, that is extremely important because I want him to set up with Reuniclus. I want him to set up with Raikou. I want him to set up with these Mons. Raikou I want him to set up with because I can go into Lucario and click Earthquake and kill it. If he's like Sub Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ground, like, it'll hurt my Zard X, but I can take like a +3 and I can just nuke it with a Flare Blitz. Same thing with like Nidoqueen, and then of course I can just Healing Wish it back up. However, I want him to set up with Reuniclus because I have this. Black Glasses, Punishment, Parting Shot, Foul Play, Bite, Persian. First off, let me explain to you guys a little bit about this set. This has enough speed, outspeed base 100s, so things like Victini, if it is a Z-move user, I will be able to outspeed it guaranteed. Parting Shot is there because it's very, very good against his team. Foul Play is there because he has things like Tyrantrum, which do scare my team. Foul Play does 58%. If he's like Banded Tyrantrum, or he's like a Stealth Rock setting Tyrantrum, something like that, I can click Foul Play, put it directly in range of Dragon Claw, put it directly in range of Earthquake, Close Combat, whatever have you. Put it in range of like 2 Iron Hands from Skarm. 2 Iron Hands from Skarm, put it in range of Foul Play. Things of that nature. Extremely important to have Foul Play. It does about 70%, 75% or so to Victini. Let me double check that calc. Persian dash Alola to Victini choice band. There we go. Foul Play does 93 to 110% if he is just jolly max attack. That's insane. So that damage is pretty big. Now, Bite is there because I didn't need an extra move on this. Like, if you want to take a quick look at his move pool, Fake Out is completely unnecessary. It does like 12% to things. I didn't need a Hidden Power. I didn't want to run Technician in power because there's nothing on his team that's quad weak to anything that would be worth it. I didn't need Play Rough because his Dragons actually take more from Foul Play or Bite, depending on which one. Or no, Noivern takes more from Play Rough, I think. 180, that's boosted to 90. Yeah, Noivern takes more, I think, but I didn't want to run Play Rough because it misses. None of these moves miss. As you can tell, on my team, I'm running all 100% accurate moves. All 100% accurate moves. I think the only one that can... No, 100% accurate moves. I do not want to miss a move this week. Switcheroo, I needed to run Black Glasses because of a calc that I will tell you guys here in just a second. I didn't want to run Taunt because I want him to set up on me. I didn't need U-turn to break stashes. Like, I didn't need Switcheroo. Like, there's literally no other move I needed. So I put Bite on there because flinch chances are nice. It's 30%. Like, I know that that's kind of a dick move to say, but if it comes down to it, I might have to play for that 30% flinch chance on something like a Reuniclus or something. Now, I said something that not many people say in their lifetime. Also, me being notorious for being swept by Calm Mind users, I'm normally not one to say this. However, remember that calc that I told you about me always being able to 2-hit KO Reuniclus? Bite to Reuniclus does 47% minimum with Black Glasses to a fully Fizdef Reuniclus. That's insanely good damage. Now, if John is smart, if he is smart and he plays the way I think he's going to play, and he brings Calm Mind Reuniclus, he's going to bring Calm Mind, Recover, Psyshock, Hidden Power, Fighting, or Focus Blast. He doesn't like to risk Focus Blast misses, so he might bring Hidden Power, Fighting. What this allows him to do is this allows him to literally hit everything on my team for really good damage. Literally everything. It's either, and it takes out my one dark check, so I really see that coming. He could also bring Shadow Ball because at +4, I think it is, I'm going to let him get up to +6 if he brings Calm Mind. Shadow Ball does... Shadow Ball does 50% minimum. So it does a lot. I'm going to let him get up to +6, so I'm going to let him set up all over my Musharna. I'm going to let him do it. I know I will outslow him, so even like late game, if he is Shadow Ball and I click Baton Pass and I get into my Persian, I can click Punishment, and if he is at +4, Punishment does 100% minimum. 100% minimum. If he is at +3, it does 91% minimum. All I need is a little bit of chip damage. That is it. And him to be set up a little bit, and I can absolutely nuke him, and that makes me happy. If he's running a really bulky, calm-minded Raikou, like he's not max speed, and I know this because things, I don't know, even then that's risky. Like late game, if I know I have a chance to win, I can stand on this and I can click Punishment on Calm Mind Raikou as well, and I can absolutely nuke it. But Parting Shot makes things so much easier for me to switch into. Tapu Fini is a little hard for me to switch into. Like if he runs Surf and Moonblast, he can hurt both my Zardex and my Nidoqueen. And if he runs Nature's Madness Taunt, he can actually beat my my Musharna and my Zapdos. So that thing is a little hard for me to switch into, but if I click Parting Shot on it, I can go directly into my Zardex, and I can absolutely nuke the hell out of him. With Thunder Punch, I can weaken him for Nidoqueen. Like, Parting Shot is huge, but the big thing that I want to work is Punishment. I want him to set up with Reuniclus, and I want to be able to nuke that, but I'm hoping that works. If not, I still have a really powerful Bite. Like, that's not something that I'm joking about. To Raikou, Bite does 44% minimum. So if he's really slow, does a lot. To Decidueye, to max HP Decidueye, Bite does 78%. If he is Jolly, max attack Decidueye, Foul Play will OHKO him. Like, this thing hits really hard against his team. He has some pretty big stacked dark weaknesses that I'm hoping to take advantage of with this thing. But that is pretty much the team, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure you go check out John's channel. I absolutely love the dude to death. He's a fantastic content creator, fantastic guy. His birthday was yesterday or last Thursday, if you haven't seen it yet. So make sure you guys go tell him that you appreciate all of his content and everything like that, because I sure do. I love the guy to death. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope that you guys have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye-bye.